guys, Crystal here, aka your bald bestie, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome, welcome. If you are not new, your patience has been greatly appreciated. I know that it's been a hot minute since I have last recorded. I think it was 2023 of February, if I'm not mistaken, which was the last time I recorded something. And I feel like I have a lot of explaining to do, so here I am. I've missed you guys, and it actually feels so weird being on camera because it's been so long. So if I'm a little bit awkward, just bear with me. But I'm just gonna jump right into what's been going on, giving you guys pretty much a life update while I do my makeup, because I am gonna be running some errands later on. So I thought, let me do my makeup, film, and talk to you guys and just give you guys all the tea of what's been going on in my life. So with that, I want to say 2023 for me. Oh, and by the way, all the products that I'm using on my face, I will leave them down below in the description box. But 2023 for me was, I feel like, a year of just transition and growth and really learning a lot more about myself. And I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, I think emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And so I really needed to take some time to myself. And at the beginning of 2023, I actually went through a breakup, and that was really challenging. You know, I was with this person for like 7 years, and I was dealing with all the emotions that go along with a breakup and just adjusting to being single and, you know, just being by myself. So I'm not going to get into too much detail about that, so I'm going to park that there. But yeah, so that was a huge adjustment. And also at that time, I was in school and I was taking this class. The school's called Formula Botanica, and it's an online organic skincare formulation school. And the reason why I decided to take it was I was making a lot of like DIY products for myself, like, because I really wanted to stay away from using like over-the-counter products when it came to my skin and my scalp. And I wanted to try and create a healthier environment for my scalp because my scalp was just going through a lot. And when I came across Formula Botanica, I thought, that seems like a cool school. Why not? And it's a 2-year program, it's online, and it's a lot of self-learning. Like, there are tutorials, there's like a community group where you can network with other students and that sort of thing. There's tutors that you can email, which is great. But I really wanted to learn more about natural products and that sort of thing because I was using like shea butter, coconut oil, jojoba oil, all those different things. But I really wanted to dive deep. And what I loved about this school was that everything was all natural ingredients. And I learned to make like body butters, like you name it, I made it. So like lotions, soaps, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just drying this gel that I put on my eyebrows because it helps me to sculpt and create a shape. So that's why I'm like fanning my brows. So anyways, and I also learned like how to calculate formulations. I learned about marketing and branding. It was a very detailed course. And like I said, it's a 2-year program, and it took me about 1.5 years to complete because I did take about 4 months off just because my headspace was not all there. But guess what, y'all? Your girl graduated. And I graduated with 100% on my final project. Don't play with me. Yes, absolutely. And guess what it was? I'll wait. A scalp shaving foam, because why wouldn't I make a scalp shaving foam? So that was my final project and I got 100%. But I have to be honest with you guys, I actually failed the first time because I used an ingredient that apparently wasn't natural and it was a bit controversial. So I didn't realize that. So by the grace of God, I was given a second chance. So I had to reformulate it and all that stuff. And it was intense because you actually have to provide a report. You have to explain why you use the ingredients. Like, it was a lot of work, but luckily I passed with 100%. I think overall I graduated with an A or B plus or something, one of those two. Either way, it was high. Okay. So I was super excited and proud of myself with that. And I actually graduated in March of 2023 when it came to that. So that was a huge little accomplishment that I was so proud of myself. And also Fun fact, I've been doing a lot of advocacy work in the community, and I feel like since the panoramic, we don't say that word over here, but since the panoramic, I found I was a lot busier, and I was doing so much volunteering work, and it was taking up a lot of my time. And I really wanted to focus on myself and my rebrand. And I don't know, like, I just wanted to do things that were more so for me. Do you know what I mean? I don't do my makeup in order, sidebar. I do my makeup all over the place. So it is like organized chaos, but it always comes together in the end. So yeah, so for those of you guys that don't know, I was known as the Peckish Palette on social media, and I feel like as I was maturing in my hair loss journey, I definitely wanted to rebrand. Hence why Your Bald Bestie is now a thing, and I'm so excited. I think I put too much primer on my eye. I do this all the time. I can never gauge how much primer I should be using. I'm gonna try and wipe this off. I also never do my makeup on camera, so this is like pretty intense. So if I'm silent, it's because I'm trying to focus and not mess things up. So I definitely think I put too much on, but whatever. We'll make it work. So anyways, where was I? So I felt like because I decided to rebrand and call myself Your Bald Bestie, I just felt like the name Your Bald Bestie wasn't matching up to my actions, if that makes sense. So just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, growing up, I did struggle with my hair. My hair was never like thick, and I always had trouble with my hairline. Like it was always just so very fine and like picky, like it was never like thick or anything like that. And I never really felt comfortable in my own skin when it came to my hair. Like I always had issues managing it, and it was very frustrating, and it was like sparse in certain places. So I would add like extensions and that sort of thing, and just try all these different home remedies to try and make it like make the hairline kind of grow up, or you know, catch up as we say, or you know, just to try and make it thick or whatever, and none of that stuff worked. Hold on guys, I don't know how people do this and talk at the same time. Like this is definitely a skill. I think that looks good. I know eyebrows are not supposed to be like the exact same, but I don't want them looking like they're fighting relatives either. Like there needs to be some sort of symmetry. Okay, we're just gonna go with that because I don't have time. And then alopecia comes along, and she's just a whole nother beast. And let me tell you guys, hold on, I'm just creating some like hair-like strokes, because when it comes to my brows, like they're not thick or anything, and towards the front, I always have to create like these hair-like strokes because I don't really have much brow hair there. I don't like to use too much. I like my brows to look as natural as possible. So, hold on. Yeah, so I think that's good. Does that look even, guys? I think it looks pretty even to me. Whatever, it's all gonna come together. So anyways, so let me backtrack. I have a form of scarring alopecia, and it is, the early stages of it was extremely painful. Like my scalp was burning and itching like you would not believe. I can't even explain it to you. And I actually remember one time, because the inflammation was so bad, I would literally stand in my house against the wall and do this with my head and like scratch my head against the wall because I was in so much pain. I had like all these like little pimple clusters. in the back of my head. I had like these lesions, and the only way I can really describe them is like, they were like paper cuts, but I didn't know they were there until I started scratching. Like, it was the most bizarre thing. And they were like these little lesions all over my head. Don't ask me how that happened. But those are some of the symptoms of having scarring alopecia. And it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So with that, I was rocking a lot of like wigs, toupees, braids, weaves, all that stuff, and using a lot of like glues and hairsprays and adhesives, tapes, and all that stuff on my scalp, which wasn't really helping because I wasn't giving my scalp a chance to breathe. And even though I was like using natural products and things like that, and trying to take medications, and none of those things really worked because my scalp was like so insane. And for me, like, I just never liked the idea of wearing like wigs and toupees and that sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, I would make a wig work. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Even if it was laid, it was lightweight and all that stuff. Like, I spent money on my units, I took care of them, but it just didn't feel like me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just felt like somebody else, and it was just so uncomfortable. Hold on, I'm trying to do my mascara. And I think I put too much primer on because now I can still see the primer through my mascara, which is going to drive me insane. We gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. Anyways, and yeah, so I just wasn't allowing my scalp to breathe because I was always like, I always had my scalp covered, even if it was like wearing a headscarf or a baseball hat, whatever it was. But wigs and like toupees were always my thing. And I just found like even simple tasks like working out and going to the gym, running errands, summertime, like it was too much. And I was always worried about, does it look wiggy? Does it look fake? Is it gonna move? Is it gonna fall off? Like, I was always paranoid when it came to my wig game. Even though I thought my wig game was pretty much on point, I don't know. I was so insecure, even though I think I presented well. That's what it was. I presented very well because you couldn't tell me that I wasn't confident, even though I was like screaming on the inside. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I just was like, I never felt peace about it. And I didn't really feel like I was myself. And to be honest with you guys, I wasn't in the right headspace to prioritize comfort over like me concealing my scalp. Like, and with all the craziness that was going on with my scalp, who the heck is trying to like showcase that? Do you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I found that once I realized like my why, because I really had to sit down and reflect as to why I was doing this to myself. Why was I putting myself through all this torment when I wasn't comfortable and I wasn't happy? It just did not make any sense. And I came to the realization that I just didn't love myself enough, especially when it came to my hair loss. I really struggled with that. And I've been dealing with my alopecia for well over 20 years. And it was like within the last like couple years that I really started to open up a little bit more about it and talk about it a little bit more, because I hid it for a long time. And I actually hid it from many of my friends who were like my close friends, you know? And so this whole thing about self-love when it came to my hair and how I treated myself wasn't cool. And also I was actually afraid, I think, of what people thought. And I like to think of myself as a pretty confident person, at least 95% of the time. But I realized that I really was putting the opinions of other people ahead of my own happiness. And I was like, we can't do that anymore. Like, that is not acceptable behavior. And so that's when the game changed. So I just realized that I needed to put myself first, and I really wanted to figure out like, were the wigs and all those coverings actually helping me or more so hindering my progress? And then another thing too, I was tired of spending money. Like, the amount of money that I was spending on my units was insane. And not just my wigs, but just like also the accessories that come along with it, like the adhesives, shampoos, conditioners, brushes, like all the accessories and everything. Like, I was spending way too much, and I always wanted to make sure that I was on trend and I had like the latest lace fronts and all that stuff, and it just became way too costly. And I really wanted to I just wanted to invest my money in other things like vacation, savings, like, you know, doing other stuff. I just didn't want to spend that much money anymore. And I just didn't see the value in like spending money on wigs. Like, I really just wanted to put my money elsewhere. And I think that's fair, you know? And when I started to put in the work, I started to feel better. And I feel like living with alopecia for like over 20 years, you know, and trying to figure out how the heck to navigate this new me, and just dealing with a lot of other issues that didn't have anything to do with my alopecia, like, was life-changing for me, you know? And one of the things that I did was I actually sought help, got therapy. I started connecting with people in the community, and doing a lot of self-care and realigning myself with things that actually mattered to me. So I'm team Jesus over here. Don't play with my Jesus. And I felt like I was very disconnected when it came to God because I was just focused on so many other things. And, you know, I realized that, you know, alopecia was here to stay, and I need to figure out how her and I were going to coexist. And I feel like my faith really helped me to come to terms with it, and believing in what God says I am and not the thoughts in my head, which were very negative at some points, you know? So that was a very big thing. And, you know, just studying God's word, coloring, reading, and just taking a break from social media, getting outside, working out, doing all of those things helped me to kind of get back on track and create healthier habits for myself, which was so like beneficial because I realized I was pouring so much into other things and people and not into myself. And I was like, why am I doing that? I love bronzer, by the way, so I always go a little ham on my bronzer, but it's my face. I can do what I want. But I think it's kind of cute. And this is like how I do my makeup literally like every day, excluding like if I'm going to the gym or, you know, running errands. But I feel like when you're put together, you feel better. So, yeah. And I'm also sitting in front of the window if the lighting changes a bit here and there. But anyways, yeah, I literally just decided I needed to put more work in myself instead of on people and things. And, you know, that included like just dating myself again and learning how to love the new version of myself, right? Because being bald is not easy, and it can be so intimidating. It is intimidating because when you're in public, you're getting stared at. People are coming up to you and asking you random questions, and it's a lot. And you really have to have the bandwidth to tolerate a lot of things. I've been fortunate enough where I haven't been subjected to like rude or inappropriate comments, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood to talk about my alopecia, and it's like I just want to pick my bananas in the grocery store, but you want to have a conversation, and I just really don't feel like doing that. But respectfully, I do use it as an opportunity to kind of like educate people and say, you know, thank you so much, but I don't really want your advice or whatever. But anyways, neither here nor there. I digress. But I think like just accepting my alopecia and deciding to just be wig free, I love it. Like it's it's so dope. And I really learned how to do things afraid, because let me tell you, like, going out bald, like I said, is a whole nother ball game. And I should tell you guys, October of 2023, I actually went to work for the first time bald. I was like, you know what? And how that happened, I literally woke up one morning and I was so over it. I was like, I am not doing this anymore. I didn't want to fuss with a wig or anything like that. I just got up, got ready like normal, and I left the house. And I felt so free and so good. And when I got to work, nothing changed. Everybody was so sweet. Like, some people were like, good morning, gorgeous. And I was like, hey girl, how you doing? You know, some of my colleagues cried. Some people like gave me hugs. And for the most part, most of my colleagues know that I have alopecia because some of them follow me on social media. So it wasn't a surprise, but I think actually seeing me come to work, and I've worked at the same place for close to 14, 15 years now. So I think that was a big thing. So I think just after doing that, I really felt like my rebrand, like this was it, you know? I'm using the Sephora lip stain collection, and this color is in Cherry Blossom. And I find when I'm applying it, like, it's too liquidy. I'm not a fan. I think the color's pretty, but the actual formulation for this particular color, I feel like it's too wet. It's not coming out as bright on camera, but it's a really pretty pink. So anyways, yeah, so, you know, just coming out bald, I felt like was the best thing ever. And I'm just so excited for this, like, for my whole rebrand. Oh, I think my camera's gonna die. Hold on, guys. Hold on, my camera's gonna die. I'll be right back. I am so sorry, guys. I literally had some technical difficulties. I think my SD card was like full, so I had to delete a bunch of footage. But anyways, neither here nor there. We are back. So like I was saying, I felt like my rebrand of calling myself and my company like Your Bald Bestie only felt fitting now, because now my words were actually matching my actions, and not wearing wigs anymore has been a huge game changer and also made me feel so much lighter. And so with my rebrand, I actually redid my website. I think it is so super cute. I worked really, really hard on it, and I did that all of like 2023. I was putting everything together, and it's actually yourbaldbestie.com. So please go check it out. Your girl worked really, really hard on it. And I actually also have launched my Unapologetically Bare mentorship program. That is like my heart. It is a one-on-one mentoring session. And what I do, it's 45 minutes, and everything is done online. And I actually mentor women and children who are going through alopecia. Everybody's welcome. It's very inclusive. And I'm just so excited because I feel like everything that I've gone through with my alopecia over the last 20 years, I'm actually able to help people. And like I said, I've been doing advocacy work in the community for the last couple years, but now being able to like have my own baby and it's a mentorship program, like that is like out of this world, because I actually never thought that I would actually have something like that. So I'm so proud and super excited about it. And in March, I actually launched my first support session online, and it's called Crown Chronicles. Because why not? And with that, it's free to join. I do post on Eventbrite, but also you can join through my website. You have to be a member. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every third Thursday of the month. So my next one is actually May 16th. So actually this coming Thursday. And I'm just so excited because it's so fun to connect with people in the community and just hear people's stories, where they're at in their journey, and just come as a collective and talk about all things alopecia, and even like things that have nothing to do with alopecia. I think people just want like a safe space where they can be themselves, wearing a wig or not wearing a wig. So that's another thing that's so dear to my heart. And I'm just your girl is making strides, guys. Like, I'm just so excited. And one last thing that I did, I created 3 adult coloring books. And they're on Amazon. That for me was huge. And the reason why I created 3 adult coloring books is because I love to color, and it's, for me, a great stress reliever. It brings me back to center. I can put away my phone for an hour or 2 and just color. And I don't know, it just brings out that inner child in me and just makes me like relax and calm me down, because everything is so chaotic now that it's just really nice to detox. And when I was taking time off for myself, that was one of the things that I did. And I was like, why not make my own coloring book? Hello. So those are actually available on Amazon too. And yeah, guys, I've been booked and busy, but see, that's why I've disappeared, because your girl was doing some stuff behind the scenes. So, you know, I just love giving back to the community, because now I feel like, because I prioritized myself and I've realigned with things that really matter to me, I feel like I can contribute to the community, to myself, and like just to life in general in a more healthier way. So at the end of the day, like, when everything is said and done, I'm very grateful for my alopecia. Like, I feel like Crystal 2.0. I feel so liberated and free, and not wearing wigs, I just feel so much more sexy. I feel so much more confident. I can look people in the eye. I sit taller, I stand taller. Like, there's all these different things. And, you know, sometimes I do have my off days, and I think that's natural. But at the end of the day, it's like, how could I hate something that's now a part of me? And that's what I want to teach people with not only my mentorship program, but just in general. Like, love the skin you're in. We don't always have to get along with it, but it's part of who you are. And I feel like I'm now truly walking in my authentic self, and I'm here for it. So that is what's been going on with me in a nutshell. I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time, but it's been so great coming on here and actually connecting with you guys. And yeah, so I'm just gonna end it here because I feel like I've been rambling, but I love you guys so much. And if you stayed to the end, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget, you were never designed to be basic. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.